Hi, I'm Peter Gordon, and welcome to Organizing Life's Daily Demands. I'm the president of New York Financial Organizers, and we do just that. We help people organize their lives. We focus certainly on financial aspects, all aspects except for the investment side. We also help them with insurance claims, managing their households and budgets and the like. Most of our clients are seniors, but it's not exclusive to that. And in this podcast, I'll be interviewing people who I trust and value and work with often, usually referring them, or maybe they'll refer me. And it might be for home health care services, like in the case of Ron Gold today, or it could be just general interest about geriatric care services or budgeting or anything that I think is applicable to organizing life's daily demands. So with that, I'd like to introduce Ron Gold of LeanOnWe. How you doing, Ron?
I'm doing great. It's good to be here, Peter.
Yeah, Ron and I know each other through a fantastic organization, in my mind, called the Orion Resource Group. And that group allows people who are in the geriatric care service industries to get together and to meet each other and learn about each other's business, and then offer their other services to their clients. It's been fantastic for me because while I'm an expert in the work that I do, I need to know the other experts out there to help my clients. And certainly LeanOnWe is one organization that I turn to a lot when I'm in the need of home health care. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about your business and let you take center stage. I don't need to be talking that much. I'd rather hear from you.
Sure. Let me start. I think, like you, everybody who gets into this business comes into this business for a reason. They either have helped their parents, they've experienced something personally, they've seen a problem that they want to help try to address. And it's really the same for me as it is for you and most of the other people I've met through Orion. And before I start, I just want to reiterate what Peter says. I've so enjoyed getting to know Peter and some of the other people I've met through Orion and through other networking circles. But Peter in particular takes his mission to heart, and he feels earnestly about helping the seniors. And that's one of the reasons I particularly enjoy working with Peter.
Thanks, Ron.
Let me tell you a little bit about myself.
I'll tell you afterwards.
A little bit about myself. Everybody has a story. Mine is pretty unique, I think, though. I used to work on Wall Street. I ran a sales desk, and I had a 25-year successful career on Wall Street, and I enjoyed it. And I was also an avid athlete, a big cyclist, and I used to go out regularly on weekend rides with a group of friends. One Saturday, it was Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend 10 years ago, I went for a ride with my friend Zach and a couple other friends. We were almost home, and all of a sudden, an out-of-control SUV comes barreling at us. She crossed the solid yellow line, hit my buddy Zach first, and then me without braking. And that's really the last thing I remember for several weeks. I woke up in the ICU several weeks later from an induced coma as a paraplegic. And I can't tell you what a shock to the senses is. I'm sure you can't appreciate what it is. Everything is going fine as you expected, and you're feeling good and you're feeling strong. And the next thing you know, you're paralyzed and getting that thrown at you, and you have to reassess and reevaluate the rest of your life. And I spent 3 months in ICU, 2 months in rehab. I came home and I had to figure out what I was going to do with the rest of my life. And it was really challenging. I felt sorry for myself. I was stuck in a difficult and challenging place. And amongst other things, I was struggling with home care because I had helped my parents, and I had served a role similar to what Peter's done for with people, and I had helped them with their home care, paying their bills, and all sorts of things. But it's quite a bit different when you're the care recipient.
Yeah.
I'll let Peter jump in.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've gotten to know Ron pretty well, and big admirer of his desire to change his life, and make a difference. I think we all want to make a difference, and most of the people I know who are doing this have had experiences with family. It's usually that have gotten them interested in their businesses. It's usually not directly. So Ron certainly has a unique situation. At the same time, he provides a great service. I deal a lot with seniors who need home health care, and they need aids, and it's not simple. And there are a lot of different layers and of complications involved in that, from the way the aids themselves are treated to the issues that people who hire them have to deal with. And LeanOnWe offers a great solution. You can hire somebody privately and do all the interviewing, and they'll get referred to you, and you really don't know who you're getting. Or you can hire an agency, and they handle. There are a lot of positives to hire an agency, but in many ways you're at their mercy. And I've seen a couple of horror stories as far as that's concerned. And so enter LeanOnWe to really be, as we say, the dating service for the people who are looking. Maybe we don't say that, who are looking for to meet aides, and then the aides who want to work for an individual and want a good match. So talk a little bit about how you do that, Ron.
Sure. So circling back to what happened to me, I was frustrated with my options because now I was in this world of needing home care. And I realized there's only two ways for most people to think about home care. One is to use a home care agency, or two, to sort of hire someone blindly via word of mouth. And home care agency has the advantage that it's easy, and all the caregivers are vetted, and you just call them up and they send somebody out to you. But there are some drawbacks as well, because you don't have as much choice or control, and it's more expensive. And then the other option is hiring someone on your own. Sounds great to many people on the surface because it is less expensive, but there's no way to vet the caregiver, and there's no way to make sure you're well taken care of if they can't make it for any reason. So those were the sorts of things that I was struggling with myself. And then on top of that, I realized that home care wasn't covered by insurance. I just assumed I had this good private health insurance from Barclays, and then that was going to cover it. But then I soon realized that it doesn't work that way. It doesn't matter how good your private health insurance is or whether you're on Medicare. You'll get covered for a few hours a day for a few weeks upon discharge, and then you're left to pay for it on your own. And whoa, that's quite a thing to throw at me. And I was already I was already struggling with my new world, and I was stuck in these why me's. And I remember one day my wife Betsy said to me, finally, after weeks, why not you? I mean, stuff happens, bad stuff happens to people all the time. And that was quite a shock, and it was needed, because she was so right that, okay, it was 1 in a million occurrence, but it happened. And these sorts of things do happen. And now you have a family, and they depend on you to pick yourself up and move on with your life in the best way you can. And that was a wake-up call for me. And I try to bring that spirit to the business and to the way I engage with people, because I think we all need the ability to think about our world in a bit of a different way. And along those lines, I approached home care from a different direction. Because of my unique experience and my lens, I was able to think about home care in a different way. I understood that hiring someone blindly on your own has the potential for certainly some negative repercussions, but at the same time, people need an option beyond just using a home care agency. They need something that's less expensive. They need something that's more suitable for exactly where they are. They need a situation which will allow them to hire someone who's the right fit for them.
Right. I was thinking that same thing. There are certain skills that people have that you have in your database, and you're able to match them with the proper employer. And it doesn't always happen that way with an agency. They're going to give you who they have available at that time. Your system, I think, is great for that, with that in mind.
In a way, we're like matchmakers. You tell us what's going on, and we have lots of information, and we filter on 1,500 caregivers in our network, and we've met each one, we've vetted them, we verify their references, we verify their licenses, we shoot a video, create an online profile, and take a fingerprint and send it to the FBI. So now we have all this information, and if you say, my mom lives in Forest Hills and she's got 2 cats, and she needs someone to help her transfer and drive her to doctor's appointments, and has their own car, now we can work within those filters and shortlist a list of caregivers who fit what you're looking for. And then you can hire who you want, because it's a very personal relationship.
And also, you're hiring an employee. Let's say you're someone who needs a home health care aide, and you're hiring an employee. Well, employees can't always come at every time, and the things come up in their lives. And one of the things I loved about working with LeanOnWe was when the aide had an issue and they couldn't make it. Well, people at LeanOnWe made it their business to get somebody there, and I experienced that quite a number of times, and was really, really thrilled with the level of service and the quality of person working in the LeanOnWe database.
That's really great to hear. We take it very, very personally, the care and the responsibility, because we know these are, to use a cliche, a vulnerable population, and they can't be without it, and it's on us to make sure it happens. And
the other side is that the workers are a vulnerable population as well, and you're empowering them.
We are empowering them, because they
absolutely
much prefer to work directly for a family, and by sort of cutting out that middleman and having them work directly for their employer, they end up getting paid more, even as you pay less. So now they're much more invested in that relationship.
Yeah, the agencies have a very hefty markup, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if there's an option, it's worthwhile looking at that option, and I think it's great. There's one aide that I met that really stands out, that I met through LeanOnWe, who's remarkable. I mean, she couldn't sit still, and I mean, she tore the place apart cleaning this very huge house in Great Neck, and she really cared, and really in general, the home health care aides I know they really care about the people they work for, and very often their reputation is maligned, and it's not fair. And going forward with this silver tsunami that we're going through, there's going to be a huge need, and for services like Ron's that are unique and offered to fill in a service that's really needed. And people are aging and living longer, and there's just going to be a gigantic need for these things.
I'm a big believer that people need options, and there shouldn't be a one size fits all. And the agency model is great for many people. It's an incredible resource. And likewise, if someone has a really strong word of mouth recommendation, they're going to use that. But there are so many other people that don't fit in one of these two buckets, and they need another option. And we're able to find a happy medium that for many people is really a great situation. And I'm pleased that we've been able to think about this world a little bit differently.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's great. Well, I really appreciate this, Ron. It was a great conversation. I'll be doing this a couple of times a month, and it'll be out there in the metaverse, which is the new term for us to deal with, which I'm not too thrilled with, but it is what it is. And it is a brave new world. And I think both of us in our businesses really tap into technology, and that's really critical. So I might make fun of the term, but it's really important. I know that's the direction my business is going. And I mean, have you been doing anything with technology that's a little different?
Other than the crux of our business is creating an online profile with a video on each caregiver. And I think that is the area where we're using technology and we're bringing it to people, because frequently it's not just the care recipient who needs to see the video, it's a family member, and that family member may not be nearby. And with a video, they can all weigh in on the candidates and make their opinions known. And that's been very well received.
Right. And I was just going to say that the people I've introduced to LeanOnWe really love that aspect of it, that they can actually see the person and hear what they have to say. They look at their background, and then, of course, they interview them as well. So it's a great process. Well, thanks a lot, Ron. I look forward to seeing you in person one day. I know it's been it's going on 2 years.
I do too. It's been very challenging. I really look forward to seeing you and seeing others in person more regularly, because I'm done with this. It's just not done with us.
No, it is not done with us, and we don't know where we're turning. Every year I go away to the Adirondacks for the last 25 years, except for the last 2 years, and I meet friends of mine from Canada. And we go away for a week, and we haven't been able to go the last 2 weeks. And I just heard it's a great place. It's called Covewood Lodge. It's in Big Moose Lake, New York. And I just heard from them. And the last 2 years we didn't do it because our friends couldn't come down from Canada. And I was talking with the owner, and she was like, "So you think you're going to do it?" And I said, "Oh, it's not up to us. We'll see what happens." And my guess, I'm really hoping that all the vaccinations are going to work, and enough people have been inoculated, and that we'll be able to get a little semblance of normalcy.
Yeah, the therapeutics are coming, and I think that'll make a big difference. So
that's a good point. I haven't even been thinking about that. Okay, well, again, thanks a lot, Ron.
I so enjoyed being your guinea pig.
Yeah, you're a perfect choice.